So, thanks for the opportunity to talk about the technique which I used and about the 3D endoscope. Am I audible? It's okay? Hello?
Absolutely audible, sir. Fantastic. Go
No
ahead.
problem. It's just if there is any problem in between, just give me SMS on WhatsApp. Okay.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir.
So this is about 3D endoscope, endoscopic spine surgery with distant use technique. In 1990, Baker et al. First described 3D technology for endoscope. That was the initial stages of endoscopy, allowed better recognition of the relationships of the anatomical structures and makes precise differentiation of the tissue layers. I'm using this 3D endoscope with distant view technique since 2015. In 2015, 14th for 2015, I used first 3D endoscope Vision Sense. And specifically, I use this endoscopic technique for removal of a D12L1 intradural tumor so that the depth appreciation is quite appreciable and I will be able to know how it works. From 2016 to 17, I use Mashida, which converts 2D into 3D by converting the videos, distorting the videos. And from 2017 onwards, I'm using TipCam 3D. This is the thing which started spine endoscopy and neuroendoscopy in 2002. Initially, I was interested in neuroendoscopy, but later on started specifically doing spine. This is the basics which I follow. How to choose your love. You have to work on subject which others have not worked on it, not explored yet. Focus on it, do it persistently. Let others know about it. You have to present your work honestly. The important thing is you have to choose. You cannot become master of all techniques. It is not a philosophy like Amazon, where you can provide each and everything of a best quality to each and every patient. So you have to choose your love, and that is very important, which I did in 2002. Now the applications of the MISS does not require latest technology initially. In the further talk, I'll explain you how I started and what led to a 3D endoscope. But it does require and willingness to minimize the collateral damage. You should reevaluate the current thinking, generous use of endoscope. The patient understands the word endoscope rather than the word MISS. So always remember keyhole or miss or endoscopic spine surgery refers to concept, not to the size of the incision, and patient inherently understands the word endoscope. The latest technology will help you in creating your brand value. This is in 2004. This is Dr. Distandu. He is the pioneer of this technique. And this is what we started. This is single chip camera, halogen light. And we used to use a 14 inches Sony TV. And when we went to the patient in the conferences, there was always a skepticism that there is no depth appreciation. We have to understand the anatomy. This is in 2006, and this is the 14 inches Sony TV with a single chip camera. But we continue to have education of the surgeons learning programs. This was the first workshop. This was the second, where we use a 3-chip camera. Then in 2006, we started with anterior cervical, where we had to use drill because we have to remove end on bone at the joint, uncovertible joint. This is the vertebral artery. You are near to the vertebral artery. medial to the vertebral artery. And there was always stress. This can happen accidentally. This is a drill, and you can catch the muscle, or it can happen to the neural tissue also. Then we thought of a ultrasonic bone dissector for safe removal of the bone, because the vision was not that clear. It was a 3-chip camera, single chip camera, no depth appreciation, and we thought of a ultrasonic bone dissector along with the company called Zuring. And these were the tips which we had prototypes. We finalized the tip, and it was little bit of a stress relieving thing. Now this is a single chip camera near the vertebral artery. This is the vertebral artery under my suction, exposed medial part of the vertebral artery. This is inside the canal in the anterior cervical going on the opposite side. But still the depth appreciation and the precise anatomy was not that clear. Then in 2008, it was the high definition camera, and everything changed. This is the midline in between the two flavum. This is the lamina on the right side, and you can judge the depth by differentiation. This is the lamina, this is flavum, tip of the instrument, and you have to learn how to judge the depth. We were a little more aggressive because of the crystal clear picture. This is the curate to detach the flavum, and underneath is the dural tube here. This was in 2009 HD camera, and we used the ultrasonic bone dissector for safety. We could go inside the disc space also through the working channel and have a look at it at depth. And this is how we can judge the depth. This is the traversing route. We are inside the disc space, both the end plates. But still, there was always skepticism that there is no depth appreciation. So this problem was overcome by reconstruction of the anatomy in surgeon's mind through the use of multiple landmarks, but this requires additional effort, a steep learning curve. That was the important thing because of this 2D, and a sort of a telekinetic slowing of these surgical actions. So this is about the 3D by Baker. Then we had the options, a conventional telescope type stereoscopy, where the two separate endoscope channels are used, but when there are two separate endoscope channels, the diameter cannot go below 8 to 10 millimeter. But for spine, we needed a 4 millimeter diameter endoscope. So the options available were VisionSense, Machida, Avion, and Storz. And there was another option, 3D video converter, which converts 2D image into 3D by distorting the images by Machida. Now this is the VisionSense. A left eye video, which is 2D with understanding of the anatomy. This is the traversing route. We are going inside the disc space. This is the traversing route, ligamentum flavum, bilateral canal decompression. traversing route on the right side. This is on the left side. This is the endoscope. 2 eyepieces, 24 inches monitor. Now in this technology, it is an insect eye technology which incorporates a micro array of lenses similar to the compound eye of an insect in a single video chip. There was a single video chip at the end of the endoscope. And this in turn generates multiple small images. Those are processed and divided into simultaneous left and right image. The left image is crystal clear and right image is distorted. That's how we get the depth appreciation. This is how it works. Now, this was the first case which I did on 14/4/2015. You can appreciate the arachnoid also. This is the dura. When I put the patty, the arachnoid was pushed down. This is the nerve root. This is at D12L1. This is the rudimentary nerve root from which the neurofibroma has come out. All these patients are mobilized after 2 to 4 hours. Most of the patients, 90 to 95% of the patients are not catheterized, no drain. You can use micro scissors. You can use endoscopic bipolar like a regular bipolar. This is the bipolar. And they cut the nerve root and remove the neurofibroma as a single piece through the outer tube. This is canal decompression, ipsilateral nerve root, shoulder, axilla going down, contralateral nerve root. You can zoom in also. Now, in this case, the camera is fixed to the endoscope, as endoscope has 2 lenses for 2 images, left and right. Now, there has to be a modification in the locking system of the endoscope. The usual locking system of a routine endoscope is not useful, so you have to change, because this configuration you cannot change. This is not a circular endoscope. So you have to change that. Then I switched to the Machida, which converts 2D into 3D. In 2016-17, I used this technique, which distorts the images, and you have a 3D feel. The images are shifted to the 3D converter. It distorts the images, and you have to use 3D glass for the depth appreciation. Now, the best part of this is you can use a routine endoscope. At the same time, you can have a 3D appreciation with a panoramic vision, with a zoom effect also. So this is 2D recording of the case where I have used a 3D converter. You can appreciate the epidural veins also. Then since 2017 October, I used this Storz TipCam 3D. It has 2 chips at the tip of the endoscope. This is the TipCam 3D, very light, 18 centimeter length, 4 millimeter diameter, 0 degree. This is how we can use it. It's a very light. We get 2 images, left and right, and when they fuse, we get the 3D appreciation. Now these are the 2 videos, left and right. This is the disc, this is the traversing route. You can see, you can zoom and get a magnified view. These are the capillaries or the nerve root. This is the area annular tear from where we have removed the disc. It's just like UBA, only the air medium is there. So till now I have operated with the 3D something around 538 cases after October 2017 with TipCam 3D. Lumbar cases 504, cervical 16, anterior, cervical posterior 14 cases, intradural tumors 14 and thoracic 4. In spite of a very good depth appreciation, crystal clear images, you can have complications like 5 dural punctures in 504 cases, 3 cases of canal stenosis and 2 cases of listhesis. There was no need of suturing the dural puncture. Fibrin glue and tissue dura patch helped us to stop the leak. So we successfully carried out with the distant use technique the 3D endoscope without any extra time or fatigue. In fact, definitely less operative time as there were no vague or blind movements. It was easy for beginner starting for the case 1 in 2015 also, as there was no need to learn technique of appreciation of 3D out of 2D. Suitable for complicated cases like reoperations, severe fibrosis, intradural tumors or cervical anterior where the operative area is something around 10 millimeters by 8 millimeters. It's definitely best for canal stenosis. Go on the opposite side by angulating it. Now there are pitfalls and tricks to overcome. 3D endoscope, it is a tubular vision. There is no panoramic vision. Now the basic advantage of the endoscope when the endoscope came into market was the panoramic vision in the periphery. So you cannot have a zoom effect which is there in the 2D camera and the endoscope, where the camera lens can have a zoom effect. Now in 3D converter of the Machida, we use a 2D endoscope. That's why we can have a zoom effect because of the camera. But still, as there is no panoramic view, all the endoscope field has the same illumination with the razor type sharp images in the 3D. Now, this is one more important thing. We cannot use 3D with UBE because it's too costly, as frequent chances of damage to the lens of the endoscope by the drill, because it is a single hand technique. And this instrument is too costly to be spared with the injury. Now, what are the advantages of the 3D endoscope? 3D appreciation will definitely decrease the steep learning curve of the endoscopic spine surgery. 3D anatomy helps in explanation of the disease anatomy like compression of the nerve root on the opposite side to the patient's relatives also and to the patient himself during the preoperative counseling. 3D appreciation definitely helps in reducing the complications related to the depth appreciation. Now, the disadvantages are there is no panoramic vision. Why? As there are two chips which are creating videos, and it's a tubular vision. Now, this is a distant use technique. This is the outer tube and the inner tube, and we have a sliding effect in between the two tubes. So the telescoping effect in between the outer tube and the working insert helps us in having the magnification. This zoom effect, by zooming, we can get into the magnified image and have inspection of the operative area. By pulling out the working insert, we can create a working space for instruments and use that space for the surgery. The mobilization of the endoscope in all direction gives panoramic vision with the 3D vision. So you can move around in all direction, cranial, caudal, medial, and lateral, and that gives you the panoramic vision with the 3D. At the same time, like microscope, you don't have to change the focus. This 3D endoscope is always in focus wherever you can move. There is no need to change the focus. So this is something like a mobile microscope. This is suction in the left hand, working instrument in the right hand. You work together. This is the angle. Any depth you can use. So this sliding effect between the outer tube and inner tube helps you in zooming effect and the panoramic vision. So this is how you move around, get the panoramic vision, have the 3D again, depth appreciation with the tubular vision. So patient relatives, in my setup, I usually invite one of the patient relative to make understand the anatomy. After surgery also, patient himself can understand the 3D anatomy, his pathology, disease process, and he can understand the future precautions he has to take. We put the endoscope inside the disc space. So how the disc has ruptured through the annular tear, healing of the annulus, and related rate of the recurrence. So patient education has become quite easy with this endoscope. So single chip to 3-chip HD image, ultrasonic bone dissectors for safety. So when I was using a single chip, I was very stressful. I thought of using an ultrasonic bone dissector. Nowadays, with the crystal clear anatomy of the 3D, less use of the ultrasonic bone dissector. Only in cases of cervical, where the corridor is very narrow, I use the ultrasonic bone dissector. And there is a decrease in the steep learning curve. Some different things I have understood also. Synovial cysts, which were not seen on the MRI, 5 to 7% cases I could see because of the depth. I have started using aggressively the nerve root retractor for the disc space inspection. Vascular plexus arterial at the axilla of the nerve root is quite commonly seen, which was not seen or appreciable with the 2D. Less use of the UBD in lumbar pathology. Cervical, still I use ultrasonic bone dissector for very narrow corridor. Now, these are the future developments in 3D. Autostereoscopic monitors will help you in avoiding the use of the 3D goggles. Maybe 3D with 4K endoscope is the future. And navigation with the 3D endoscope with something like an artificial intelligence-based spine surgeries for exact, adequate, no less or no more bone removal with preservation of the stability. Just like in ophthalmic surgeries, artificial intelligence-based technologies. I have used this 3D endoscope for my training module. On the first day, we have a cadaver. Second day, all the delegates come to the OT and have a look at the hand movements and the anatomy and the exposure and the endoscopic picture simultaneously, so that they correlate the hand movements with the endoscopic picture. They are in the OT. On the third day, they have a cadaver training with the 3D endoscope. for the better understanding of the anatomy. They try of their own with the 2-day endoscope on third day. It's workshop only, no lectures. This is what I have presented in 2018 at Hamburg, Saarland University. This is a D1011 intradural tumor and stenosis, operated simultaneously. These are the two incisions and patients mobilized, no catheter, and this is after 15 days. So we have to think, are we exploiting the techniques? Maybe a 3D thing is a very expensive thing. Whether for canal decompression with transforaminal approach, fixations, and third port of UB, because in spite of all innovations, spine surgery is still a defamed surgery. Even a medical person initially, at a first glance, does not accept surgical treatment. This is the reality. So are we failing prey to the industry in search of minimalism in the spine surgery? Or are we diverting from the goal? Are we helping the patient in the name of minimalism in spine surgery? Is it helping the patient to understand the exact disease process of the spine degeneration and the pathologies? So reality is a golden standard, 100% result, but our final and unreachable goal is 100% success. You cannot get 100% success, but our reasonable goal or reachable goal is everyday learning, training, and improvement. And this is what we can achieve with persistence of the technique, mastery in the technique, and better visualization with the 3D endoscope. Thank you.